Welcome to the Pitmaster Podcast. We're barbecue competition competitors that aim to share information, advice, tips, and tall tales about our favorite pastime. Head over to the pitmasterpodcast.com for all things Pitmasters, or follow us on your favorite social media platform. And now, here are the hosts of the Pitmaster Podcast, the two-time Grand Champion, SCA World Champion finalist, and barbecue specialist of Smoke Ain't No Joke Barbecue, the Anthony Luan, and the 24-time Grand and Reserve Grand Champion, Reserve World Grand Champion, Windover High Roller Champion, and the founder of Pitmaster Barbecue Supply Company stores in Utah, the old man himself from Big Johnson's Barbecue, Jesse Johnson.
This is Greg Rempe from the Barbecue Central Show, and you are listening to the Pitmasters Podcast, and they are doing it live.
We'll do it live.
That's right, Bill. I just said that. They're going to do it live.
We'll do it live.
Yes, live. They're going to do it live.
What's up, Pitmasters and Jesse Johnson? How's it going, my man?
Good, buddy. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. Just got off Memorial Day weekend. Got out and enjoyed the outdoors, and it looks like you did as well.
Yeah, we both were in the hills playing in the mountains. You're in the desert, and I'm up on top of the mountains playing in snow.
Right? Yeah.
Snow we could find, but there was actually quite a bit where we went. So
right. And I want to apologize to you firsthand. I did go to the liquor store where our famous bootlegger gets her stuff. It was really difficult. I was in contact with my stepdad because he's a big time collector, and for some strange reason that liquor store is like Fort Knox. You can't send text messages, can't call his videos. It's really difficult, so I had to leave and go outside, make a phone call, run back inside, tell him what I had. It was like back and forth. I was able to put his order in, I was able to grab my stuff, and then by the time I left I was like, shit, I didn't call Jesse. But
it's all good, but I've got bourbon out coming out the wazoo. I didn't realize how much. Oh, and I got a bottle of Buffalo Trace in my DJ backpack. So I forgot about that. I got 3 handles of Buffalo Trace. I've got 8 Eagle Rares.
Right.
I don't have any Wellers.
Right. I got 2 bottles of Wellers full proof on those.
Saw that. That's a nice one.
But the bottle that I bought him the bottle, I didn't get myself one, but it was Old Char Oak. And apparently, after I did some research, it's a brand new whiskey that's on the market. They're not making it at Buffalo Trace, but Buffalo Trace is storing it for them. So you're still getting all the, the barrels and all the uniqueness of Buffalo Trace.
Well, it's not going to be their mash recipe, but they're storing their rick houses then.
Right. Yeah. So they're making it using the barrels and everything from Buffalo Trace, but it's just not produced there. So it's coming out of the distillery at the end, but it's not their product. So the bottle was $90. Secondary market's already at $250 a bottle. So I was like, why didn't I get myself a bottle? I don't know, but at least I know where I can go taste it, I should say.
Exactly. Go over to Dad's house. Yeah.
But there was a competition. I'm going to run through the top winners, and then we'll break it down because us being from Utah, there was some good Utah calls, but we'll just break down the winners and then we'll get into the we'll give the Utah people a shout out. So Saturday night was the SCA.
Yeah.
So we had dessert taken down by Christy Vanover, steak A by Alfred Dupree. I think that's his last name. Sorry if I ruined your last name. Steak B was Rob Jurgensen. Jackpot steak was Rob Dodge, and Rims was Gary Williams OG. And then Sunday, which was the KCBS style cook-off, the grand champion was Big John's Barbecue with a 700.491. That was a pretty good score.
He was what comp did Big John come to? We met him.
Well, I know we talked to him on the show, but he won Vegas.
Yep.
And then we had the RGC by Uncle Jesse's Barbecue. That's Brennan Nelson and Nate Benson. They qualified for the Barbecue World Cup, so they come out of the SCA world. So I guess these SCA guys can cook barbecue as well. So
Brennan, those guys come from the barbecue world.
Exactly, I should say that. So Brennan don't believe what Rusty said. You are a barbecue guy. You can severe barbecue is a legit thing. So
Yeah.
But we got chicken taken by down pork and Bauman's barbecue with a perfect score of 180. Ribs, Big John's barbecue 178.857. Pork, Mr. Marty, One Bite Barbecue out of Utah, 177.703. Brisket was All About Smoking Q with a perfect score of 180. 33 teams entered this contest, 3 180s, and only 1 700 score. So the judges were
a little tougher.
But yeah. So,
well, the pork category, we had 5 Utah teams in the top 10, and top 4 were Utah guys.
Yeah, let's get that pulled up here. Let's see.
5XL took second, I think, in that.
Yeah, so let's get pork pulled up here. I guess let's say pork here. So yeah. One by Barbecue, 5XL, Slinging Meat, Uncle Jesse's, and then Smoking fourth place. So yeah.
And Tuffy's was like 8 or 9, right?
Yeah, with 9th place there, and then Sin Bin was 11th in pork. So yeah,
right there.
Showed out, man. They really did very well. Not so much on the chicken side.
Couple perfect scores though.
Couple perfect scores. So yeah, it was a fantastic overall event. Yeah, like we said, it was very tight. The judges were, I should say, be playing neutral. So on this overall event. So that's awesome. Good job for everybody who showed out for that. Only thing that I have on the books, I should have wrote this down. We have the event in Blackfoot coming up in June. There's a SCA down in Richfield. That's a 4-steak in June, and then
we got the
Montana,
1 year,
right?
We got the 1-year anniversary at the Pitmasters Supply Company at 5 Points.
That is the backyard event.
First part of June, where I got teams signing up for that. So thanks for signing up, guys.
Yeah. And then there's one in Montana. If I remember, that might be, I am horrible, but I think that one might be Dylan, maybe? I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, folks, but go ahead and visit the Kansas City Barbecue Society for those dates. And then
all the teams from Utah get signed up for that Blackfoot event. That's a good event.
Exactly. I'm on the fence, man. That's my birthday weekend. I don't know if I go to Idaho. I don't know if I go to Richfield or stay home. It's one of those things.
That's the weekend that we do our annual family camping trip. So I'm always locked out of that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, tell your family to switch it up. Say, hey, June's too hot. Let's move this to the front of June.
Yeah. Good luck telling my baby brother to change stuff. He's so set in his ways.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. We have Cameron Edwards on the show tonight. He does it all. Cooks, makes rubs, does everything. So we're gonna go talk to him and learn a little bit about his business. He does have a website. We'll talk about all of that. So stay tuned, and we'll just go talk to him right after this short break.
Let's do it.
This is the single best investment you can make to become a better cook.
Thermopen 1 is the best thermometer I've ever had.
My thermometer of choice is ThermoWorks.
When it comes to quality that I can trust, this is the company that I go to over and over again.
There may be other thermometers out there, but there aren't other Thermopens.
Cameron, welcome to the show, my man.
How are y'all doing, Kim?
Good. Do you go by Cameron most of the time, or do people just shorten it up?
Sound from you guys.
Oh man.
Can you hear us now?
He must have got a text message.
Y'all can hear me. I cannot hear you.
We can hear you. Good.
Yeah, we got you. It might happen. Let's see.
Can you hear us now?
Nope. All right. Okay, so I gave him the boot. Sorry, Cameron. He'll come back in here shortly, and then we'll continue on.
So did you take your side-by-side on your camping trip? Where'd you go?
We went to Vernal. Went out to Vernal. So went to go to
a great
Dinosaur
place to go
Country.
riding.
Yeah, Yeah, we just took the RV, went camping. We did some off-roading. Mostly went out to go see some hikes and just do some sightseeing mostly. Neither one of us really spent much time in Vernal, so we wanted to go actually just go and see it personally. And I found out that there's hundreds and hundreds of miles of trails.
Oh yeah, I've never gone wheeling there, but a bunch of my friends have. They said it's absolutely a blast.
Yeah, it looks like.
Cam, you back? You can hear us?
I am back. I don't know what was going on there. I heard the Thermopin intro, and then all went silent.
Oh man, it's all good. We got you. So, do you like to go by Cameron, or do people call you Cam by short?
Cam.
People have started calling me Cam, and Cam is just fine.
All right, cool,
Sounds
man.
good.
So, you're with is it BarHart Spice Company, right?
BarHart Spice Company, yes, out of Armadillo, Texas.
Perfect. And we're gonna hit you with the question we hit all of our guests.
Okay,
let's hit the rewind button, man. Let's tell us how you got into barbecue.
Ooh, well, right after I came out of diapers. No, so I grew up very outdoorsy. Both sides of my family, paternal and maternal. But I grew up cooking with my grandfather, the Piney Woods of East Texas, and he founded like fire departments. Like he founded a small town fire department on brisket rifles, and so spent a lot of time by smokers, helping him chopping meat, shoulder clawed, also making plates for people, and I guess you could say the seed got put in me there. Right. I don't do anything the way that Papa did it anymore. Right. Techniques have changed. Flavor profiles have changed. But that's where it all started. So did that all growing up, hunting, fishing. BarHart Spice Company, our bread and butter is barbecue. We are not just barbecue. We only one of our products is actually a barbecue rub. So the other things I grew up doing, crawfish boils, seafood boils, fish fries. A lot of things were outdoors meets cooking is kind of where I wanted to take the company as a whole. But barbecue is the bread and butter, right? Fire plus meat, you just can't beat it. So
right.
I've got a Cajun rocket. I can put 2 bags of crawfish in. That's how big it is.
Jeez.
I've got a 150 quart double boiler out right outside the house right now. So we keep it running pretty often throughout the spring. So everything from high school graduations to Easters to we do it pretty well.
So with both of you guys being experienced in that field, from the little research I've done maybe a few crawfish boils, but from your experience, the very, very most important thing to do with the crawfish boil is make sure that you clean those gills of those crawfish completely. You want to run your water clear before anything starts, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you want to clean the crawfish off. It's been proven. It was proven to me years ago, like the putting them in a pool and dumping a bunch of iodinized salt all over them to try and make them vomit the insides up. That's all a myth. They grow up in a saltwater marsh. They're bred in a saltwater marsh, so good luck. Now, running clean water over them repeatedly until it starts running clear out the end of the cooler. So if you just dump them all in a cooler, have running water on one side, open up the spigot on the other, and when it starts running clear out the other side, they're clean. Congratulations.
Yep.
So
that's exactly what I do.
And then just since we're just on this topic, I'm going to go down this rabbit hole for a little bit.
Do it.
Personally, I feel like it's a shellfish. So I see all these people adding tons and seasonings. Does the crawfish really take on that seasoning, or is it more or less it's going to be sticking to whatever you're touching anyways, and it's just going to transfer to the meat as you pull it out of the tail meat anyways? Personally, from both of your experience, I've done them, but I don't really feel like the meat actually takes on the flavor of what you're putting in that boil.
You're doing it wrong. Tell them how you do it, Cam.
So the tradition, I'm a hardcore kind of traditionalist, right? So when you're boiling crawfish, you get that pot to roll and boil with all the seasonings and flavorings that you want. And you pour the crawfish in, add a rolling boil, And you only boil it depending on the quantity. If I'm doing 1 sack, I do it for 2.5 minutes. If I'm doing 2 sacks on my double boiler, I do it for 5 minutes. But you only boil them for a short period of time. You kill that heat. You dump 20 pounds of ice into that pot, and it drastically lowers that temperature from the 220 or 212 boiling point, right? From 212 to 160, and you're going to let the crawfish come down in temp. You're stopping the cooking immediately. So the cooking's done. It's been cooked in 5 minutes. Now, whenever you start letting the meat relax, just as in any other protein on the smoker, now all the seasonings from the boil are coming in. The magic of crawfish happens in the soak. So I do 45-minute soaks.
Yeah.
In mine.
I do it by taste. So, I mean, whether it's 45 minutes or an hour or a little past an hour, just let it sit. Try sample one. Not enough seasoning in it yet. Let it sit some more.
Every once in a while, the oils will start to float to the top. You know, kind of give it a stir, give it a mix, agitate it a little bit. Your seasonings, your solid seasonings have settled to the bottom. Your oils have come to the top. Kind of disturb it a little bit, you know, and then let it rest again, and it'll all start to kind of soak back up.
And then, when is this something that you do on the side? I want to execute one perfectly. And I feel like I've done pretty good, but I don't feel like I've hit a home run. A lot of triples, a lot of doubles, and no home runs. But is it better to, do your corn, your sausage, anything else that you're wanting to do in a separate pot, or do you do that before the rolling boil and then the crash cool?
To me, the answer is in the quantity of people you're cooking for.
Yeah.
Right. So if I have 40 people at my house and I have that double boiler going, and I know that's all that crawfish is for 40 people or whoever I'm taking it to, then yes, I am doing sides in a separate pot. And people get kind of creative, at least down here, with the sides, right? Like we can, like this year for the first time, ravioli became kind of a five cheese raviolis became the fad down here. So my daughter had them. It was her 17th birthday this past March. Dad, I want raviolis in there. Well, I don't want that exposed to the same amount of heat that the crawfish is exposed to, right? Your potatoes are going to take on a different level of heat. Your corn's going to take on a different amount of heat. Possibly the hottest thing you're going to pull out of there is a mushroom, if you do mushrooms in it. But it is, for people who are more heat sensitive, you might get a good flavorful crawfish, but the mushroom that came out of the same pot is going to light somebody on fire.
Okay. Because it sucks it in.
It sucks a lot of it. It doesn't take very long.
So from the pro status, it's going to be crawfish in one boil and then your sides in the other.
Yeah, I typically cut everything. If I'm doing off to the side, I typically cut the amount of seasoning to the sides in half. Just because I know that's the first thing people are going to go to. So my favorite thing to throw in there is Jesse, I know you're a hunter, wild game guy. Throw some venison and cheddar sausage in there in your crawfish bowl. I'm telling you, it's phenomenal.
I've never done that. I like putting andouille in it. I put in, so first thing goes in potatoes for me, then corn, and then if I'm throwing some other meats in, like to the sausage, they don't take that long to cook, and you're cutting them in down to size anyway, so they're gonna come to temperature pretty fast. Last thing, like you said, rolling boil, throw the crawfish in. I let it come back to another boil. I don't give it a time. I just wait till the boil comes back, and then once it's back to boil, I shut it down and then throw the ice in, like you said.
I've seen people doing hard boiled eggs, throwing eggs in there. How do you guys feel about that?
Hard boiled eggs are good.
Yeah,
they're very, very good. Even if you don't want to, some people that I talk to some people. Of course, I do it quite often, but not often enough. But some of the real pros that do this 5-6 times, a week, every day, damn near, they are freezing their crawfish boil that's left in the pot. They are freezing that overnight, and then that is their shock the next day, so it doesn't dilute.
Oh, that's super smart.
Yeah,
super.
So it doesn't dilute things. So.
And then springtime is the best time to do this, right?
Spring from January until late May. So crawfish season is about coming to an end. This time of year, the shells start getting insanely hard. I know there's people that are going to watch this later on and comment about how much I'm wrong and how crawfish is good. you can get crawfish in October and it's still good, and more power to them, right? My favorite time is when is from late March until May, that 2-month window. There's crawfish in January, even late December. The shells aren't, to me, really ripe yet to absorb seasoning, and then they get too hard later on in the season. They don't really absorb seasoning either. So
here's the question: do you like spillway crawfish or you like rice-filled crawfish?
all the ones down here are the ones that are farmed are rice-filled crawfish.
Yeah.
Now there are wild-caught spillway crawfish, and someone comes to me with some of them. I'm not treating them any different.
Nope.
So
awesome. This is awesome. And then last question.
And in Utah, you can get crawfish. The best place to get crawfish is on a rocky coast of one of our reservoirs.
Strawberry
is really good.
Really?
Echo's good. What's the one up Morgan's Way?
East Canyon.
I've caught so many crawfish out of East Canyon.
Nice.
Just give my grandkids a stinky drumstick on a stick with a string.
Yep.
Shake it into the bucket, baby.
I was visiting my daughter earlier today. She was some friends down at a local beach close to us, and they were wanting to go crabbing. And I walked them through the exact same process. It's like, here, get a drumstick. Here's your dip net. Piece of string. Bring it in slow. Of course, catching blue crabs down here like that. Just right here off the marsh, and they're also delicious. I actually prefer them more than crawfish, to be honest with you. It was blue crab. But.
Nice. So here's my last question when it comes to crawfish. I'm landlocked, but I'm a no on this, and then you two get an answer. But do you suck the juices out of the head or not?
100%. 100%.
See,
100%.
That's what's the problem being landlocked. I just can't figure out. I just can't do it.
It's the brains, baby. It's actually not the brains. It's the juice out of the skull.
Right.
It's rendered fat. It's rendered fat that's around the animal. The intestines it's all rendered fat. It's just all tissue, same as any other meat that we eat. We try to render fat during fire cooking. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I just haven't got around to doing it. I've had them, but I've never done it.
I understand the mental block.
It is.
I get it. I fought it myself during my teenage years, but as soon as I was old enough to pay taxes, I was sucking the heads of crawfish. So
suck the brains, Anthony. Suck the brains.
Well, it's not that. It's just like I said. It's just being Jesse. Being from Utah, we're not exposed to that. That's not a daily thing. That's more of a once a year, or know somebody who's doing it on occasion thing. It's not like where Cam comes from, where it's like somebody's boiling something in the neighborhood every other weekend or every weekend. You know what I mean? So
it's all the time.
Yeah. Louisiana Crawfish Company is a great company to order the crawfish from, and they ship them live. We did it for a barbecue contest one year where I brought in a couple bags and served them to all the guys, and nobody would suck the brains, man. And I'm sucking the heck out of the brains.
It's not just me.
Little Crystal Louisiana hot sauce on it. That's money, baby.
Yeah.
So I do 1 pound of seasoning dry for every 10 pounds of crawfish. And then I add two of the 500 liquids. two of the 500 ml liquids in there.
Yeah.
And then I add a whole gallon can of jalapenos. I prefer the whole ones, but I'll take chopped if I have to. And then 2 big bottles of the Tabasco.
Wow.
So
spicy.
Tabasco.
Spicy.
No.
That cayenne vinegar taste inside that crawfish, I love it.
As long as it doesn't set me on fire after one bite and I can't taste anything after.
No. It's not on the heat scale of 1 to 10. It's about a 5.5 or 6. So
yeah,
nice.
That's why I use Crystal. And then here's the question: once you dump them, do you give them another dust?
No, that's cheating. So to Anthony's original question, to Anthony's original question, right? Is it just on your fingers and you're handling it, and that's what gets the flavor on, right? It's cheating. So
I'm a cheater.
That's fine. Ed, I'm not judging. But down here, if you were to go to a contest or you were to start dusting crawfish at an event, people are going to look at you sideways and move on to the next booth. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, it's all purists.
And then one last question, I should say. What's the best way to remove the tail meat? I've seen people try to break it open. I've also seen a technique where people are pushing from the tail up and that's popping it out. Is it kind of the same way as like if you if you fuck up a hard-boiled egg, you just can't peel it. But if it's cooked right, it comes out it comes out easy.
And it could be
is that what we're dealing with?
That's the thing about if you got them fresh, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
You just pinch that tail. But if you buy the pre-cooked stuff, the shells get sticky, just like older shrimp.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell old shrimp by when you kind of pop that first couple of shells off and then pinch the tail. If it's stick, that's old shrimp.
Yeah. And here's the unfortunate reality that some people just also don't ever think about. These, like when you get crawfish to you on a Saturday, they were harvested Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. And they've been on a truck and cold ever since, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
They didn't stop being hungry.
Ah, right.
So they start they pick one poor soul amongst them.
Right.
You know, so every once in a while you'll get one that's soft, and he was just the one that they all decided, to sacrifice. So every once in a while you'll get one of those. But if you have a good amount of oil in your crawfish boil, and during the soak, it'll slide out real easy. Potentially what you do is you take the entire crawfish, give it a twist from the tail and the head, suck the head. I always peel the first ring. That first ring on that tail, you peel that off, pinch the bottom, pull it out, or pinch the bottom and done.
Okay.
Move on. Next one.
Yeah, in my house, because I was the first one born in Utah, so in my house, if you didn't know how to peel your crawfish or your shrimp, you got less than everybody else.
And that's how it should be. You got to learn, right? You got to learn. You can't raise a soft ass anymore. I guess that's what happens nowadays.
All of my kids at a very young age learned they know how to peel crawfish before they went to kindergarten.
Right.
So
that is awesome.
You got to learn today, son.
You're gonna learn.
Right.
So.
Heck yeah. So let's move on to some barbecue, man. First of all, I want to say thank you for your service of being a first responder. That's huge.
I appreciate that. This past week wrapped up National EMS Week. So that was Monday through Saturday of this past week, and we're trying to gain awareness for all of my fellow first responders that are riding on that boo-boo bus. You know, every time someone calls 911. So, so that's all of them. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So thank you. So let's talk about this though. So we've learned you started barbecue at a young age. We learned all about crawfish. It's a fantastic topic. Yeah. And now let's just talk into your barbecue venture as an adult. Did you play around in the competition market, or is it more or less just serving and having the passion of, serving your community, your friends, family? Tell us about your venture as barbecue as an adult.
As a young adult in my early 20s, man, I was just Weber kettle, cooking for friends. I think the first thing that people really started taking notice that I was cooking really well was actually chicken wings. That's back when The Walking Dead was huge on AMC, right? And so remember, Walking Dead parties were a thing. So I would cook wings for everybody when they would come over to watch the latest episode, because wings, you're devouring meat off the bone with your hands, similar to the zombies on TV. Right. So I figured it would be fun. Did that a couple of times, cooked some briskets, started playing around with some bigger offsets that were on loan to me from some people for different family events, just kind of winging it. And in 2020, I got the bug. I looked at my wife and I said, I really want to try a competition just to kind of see where I'm at. And this was a Lone Star Barbecue Society competition in Kima, Texas, right there on the coast. And there was 54 teams at that contest. This was October of 2020, right? So COVID's in full swing.
Yeah.
I just needed something to do, right? I couldn't just be at work surrounded by everything that I'm exposed to there during the height of COVID and then not have anything else. So I signed up for this barbecue competition at the local Elks Lodge, kind of the area that I worked at. And I got my first call. I got 8th place in ribs out of 54 out of my first ever cook-off. And man, the bug bit me.
Yep. Gotcha. It
got me. It got me. Then I found out I had a final table and brisket. Man, but when I look back on the things that I was doing, man, it's like, my gosh, like I had the audacity to turn in a beer can chicken at a cook-off because I just didn't know any better. I just didn't know any better, right? I was just going to show up and do my thing and see what the judges said. So chicken didn't score that high, by the way. Don't do that. So, I reached out at the time. We had a sponsor. It was an RV rental company. They jumped on pretty quick, and they found out that the barbecue at this time there was a barbecue boom going, at least down here during COVID. A lot of people were getting into it, staying at home, getting good off of YouTube at home, and then wanting to be competitive against other guys. So I kind of fell into that. I ended up getting a sponsor that was an RV rental company. So they started in 2021. We did 17 cook-offs in 2021.
Oh, wow.
And we got a call in 15 out of 17 of them, including one overall championship. So several reserves. Some of it was a lot of trial by air, trial by air, and it was a lot of fun. I got the bug. And then fast forward or jumped ahead to 22, and late in 22, I blew every tendon that ends with L out in my left knee. So that kind of took me out of the whole thing.
Wow.
Took me out of work, took me out of cooking all the time. I actually did it not at my job. Of all the shady stuff I've done in my job, it wasn't at my job. It was walking down the wet steps to my smoker when I was catering for somebody. So, it was crazy. Finished the cook, by the way, and then went to the hospital.
Oh man.
So, I ended up, getting laid off from my job, cashed in my retirement to pay for my leg surgery, and the last like $2,000 in my pocket is what I started BarHart Spice Company with.
Oh man.
So
that is wild.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
I don't regret one thing about it either.
Right.
Looking back,
Jesse, is there a secret button that you promoters click in your computers that say first time cook, and then just automatically they get a call and just because I feel like everybody who cooked their first cook always gets a call and then it's game over.
Well, the first contest of the year we had an RGC that was a first time cook, so he's hook, line, sinker.
He's done.
But like when Josh from Wild West Barbecue started, he got a DAL overall. And I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to single him out, but I'm also going to give him help. I'm like, so what he's going to do is get a personal mentoring from me to help him get moving along. And he's got 5 or 6 RGCs and a GC now. And he got some decent calls down in Bullhead too. So, it's not an automatic, but some of those first time guys, you got to look out for them, man. They might pop something that's because they're thinking outside the box. They're not.
Yeah,
stuck
I think
they're not
big.
stuck in that KCBS box. And,
yeah,
they might pull something, like a peanut butter and jelly rib.
Right. Beer can chicken.
Yeah. You never know. It might get a call.
Right.
To your point, Jesse, I wasn't familiar with any of the barbecue scene. I wasn't familiar with meat church products. I wasn't familiar with anything. I'm a traditionalist at heart, so I'm going, there's East Texas has its style, South Texas has its style, Central Texas is what everyone thinks Texas barbecue is, Central Texas, salt, pepper, and that's it. Those things are not the best whatsoever.
But that's not all it is, though.
That's
salt
not
and pepper. They say it's salt and pepper. They're using Johnny's seasoning salt or Lowry's seasoning salt.
Yeah.
And that's got 100 ingredients in it,
Yeah. So, but, I'm sitting here like, when I was mixing up my rub, it was trying to blend these different inspirations and flavors from the Cajun influence, from influence coming from Mexico, and of course ingredients from your salt, pepper, and coarse garlic from Central Texas, and that's how I came up with my rub. And I was mixing it I was mixing my rub at the competition, making my barbecue sauces at the competition, doing it. Now I know it's the hard way.
Yeah.
So my wife she learned all my barbecue sauces and was making them from scratch and still does whenever we compete there on site.
Wow. So
that's a lot of work.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
So I had the opportunity to taste your rub. I actually have a bottle here at the house. But so here's the thing. When I tasted it, I was like, okay, I taste the pepper. I had that pepper and the saltiness come through and then the sugar. and then there's earthy tones. I was like,
Yes.
I can't put my finger on it. Why is it so earthy? It's one of those earthy tones, Jesse, if you've tasted it before, where it kind of just sucks all the moisture off your tongue and it goes dry. But then after that, I took a drink of water and then the flavors came back. And I really couldn't figure out what it was until you started saying it. Then I went to your website and just seeing what it was made of. And that it explains it all. And then how you explain that you did the Cajun and then you did traditional barbecue and then you mixed in the Texas style. So that explains a lot where all those flavors were coming from.
Absolutely. So that flavor that you had is that mesquite smoked achiote. It's your main ingredient in red fajita seasoning. So, and it's actually the ingredient when you go to like the Michoacanas or the Mexican meat markets, and they've seasoned the meat up, and it looks wet and red there in the case. That was a dry rub that went on it, and it does. It absorbs that flavor. It absorbs that moisture out of it. So when you hit it to a piece of pork and you let it set in, you know exactly what kind of is taking place there. That's where I really tried to slow down and take time, not just to mix a bunch of cool flavors together, but to engineer a rub in that way.
Right.
So it would react a certain way whenever it touched proteins. And then
we had a couple of backyard teams last year. They were hand seasoning each ingredient on their product. I said, you're never going to be consistent when you're just doing, okay, here's my salt, here's my pepper, here's my garlic, here's my onion, here's my other thing.
Right.
I said, mix that stuff all together. Make sure you practice with that mix, pre-mix it before you get to the competition. Then you know it's going to be what you're looking for.
Right.
So,
which is where a co-packer comes in and really adds that element of consistency. So in 23, right after my leg surgery, I was unemployed and went into a co-packer. Some friends of mine from church have been buying my handmade mix. Really, you got to take this to the next level, and really, really pushing me. My wife was very, very supportive, also pushing me, get off your butt and go do something as soon as I could walk. And so that's when we came up with our Armadillo BOLD, was right then and there. And, taking it to a co-packer and then explaining the process to a co-packer, they just have capabilities that you just don't off the retail shelf. The Mexican achiote in there, it when you get it from like the fajita seasoning, when it's in there, there's actually dehydrated oil that's in there, which really adds to that, that wet kind of absorbing the moisture off your tongue. It really adds to that more so than what it does in its raw form. So it kind of capitalizes on that a lot. But what the problem with that is, whenever you hit your brisket with it or your pork or anything, now you've got this oil-based layer over the surface, and now you're not getting that swap of salt into the meat. Right, because it's actually in more quantity than if you were to use like olive oil as a binder. So it's just kind of taking it to a co-packer and saying, this is my flavor profile. However, I want it to behave this way. That's the step that kind of took things to the next level for me. That's when dots started to connect, at least for me.
Right, and I haven't used it on anything yet, but from what you're saying, it should. And the imagery, it looks like you'll get that mahogany dark red color.
100%. 100%.
So, yeah, I've said it 100 times on the show before, but I don't know if it's ready for competition. But I can't guarantee people are running it. They are, but on my flavor profile, I don't think it will work here in Utah. I think it has too much pop.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You just got to layer it.
Yeah,
so, I mean, when you're running your briskets, I mean, there's guys running 2, 3, 4 rubs on their brisket. And I used to run a fajita rub from OBQ back in the day as one of my layers. And then I kind of went to an umami, more of an umami flavor that did really well on the brisket, like from last year when we were down at Nate Benson's competition.
So, and don't get me wrong, I love barbecue competition. I love competition barbecue. But today in marketing it, this rub is meant for the backyard cook.
Oh, yeah.
100%, right? There are guys who are successfully running it in competition. Greg Mitchell is out of Oklahoma. He's climbing the ladder in the RCOA right now. He will vouch for this rub quite a bit. Jeremiah, Bullfrogs Barbecue, running Championship Barbecue Alliance. He's climbing the ladder there, doing great things, and he runs Armadillo Bold on 2 of his pro teams. So when guys are able to take it and run with it, it makes me excited. But I am equally as excited when someone calls me and they say, "Hey, man, I have been struggling trying to get some barbecue that people respect for a while, and now I'm able to do that."
Exactly.
And so that fills my tank up. You
exactly.
know?
And I feel like anybody that is getting into the barbecue rub industry, do not target the barbecue competition circuit.
No.
Target the backyard and everyday cook.
Yeah.
Competition barbecue rub is being sold by guys who are actually in the circuit that are doing very well in the circuit, and then the competition guys are following that. So the market is very tiny, but
it is.
If you're getting into the go to backyard, concentrate on all the home cooks as you can.
And these are just the optics from where I'm at. But Jesse, I know you own a supply store, and you're more into this than I am. But for the optics from me, and my perspective is it's kind of, you're riding waves, right? If you have something that's hitting, you're riding a wave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then whenever it fizzles out, when that wave dies out, here comes somebody else waiting to come with the next wave right behind you. And you better come out with a new product, otherwise you're going to get forgotten. And so, I didn't want to get caught in that. Then again, if guys are running this in competition and they're having success with it, I am excited. Man, I'm excited for them. I'm cheering them on 110%. I love it. I love hitting with it when I'm competing. I still love to compete, and I love hitting with it when I compete. But that's not my target market. My target market is the backyard guys.
Yeah, you want guys coming in using it to rub on the regular. That's the thing. It's like when we run out of my OG beef rub, people are losing they got that FOMO going on. And my sister's one of the worst ones. Like, she's like, "I'm down to 2 bottles. I need more." So we just, because I use a co-packer in Salt Lake City from Big Daddy Hills. Shout out to Lee Hill. He does a great job for me. And we got our order in last week. I sold 3 cases in the morning at the store. I sent out a text message to all my customers and go, "Hey, it's back in stock." Oh my gosh, it was crazy. It was so, but it's awesome. It's so much fun when a product that you've got your heart and soul in just kind of takes off and it becomes somebody's everyday usage.
It really is. It's hard to get there.
Yeah,
it is hard.
Yeah, honestly, man, Plowboys have been around for a long time. I've never used any of their products, never gone to any of their other products, but I go for a bottle of Yardbird every time, just because I know it's consistent and it's my jam. And I don't even know what they make for the rest of the stuff, but sometimes just the one bottle is just enough. Like you said, you might want to follow it up by something, but if that one bottle is good enough, it's going to stand out no matter what every time. And Jesse, I'm pretty sure you can counter Plowboys. Yardbird is probably on the top end of the Plowboys product.
Yeah, Plowboys. Yeah, Yardbird, Fin and Feather, the Bovine Bold. They all sell really well at the stores.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see where your product goes. But I'm super excited to cook with it.
What's crazy is, I think the number one guy out there, when he drops a video, we get flooded at the store, is Matt Pittman from Meat Church. I've been waiting on an order for almost 3 weeks now because he's behind. But oh my gosh, he dropped a video. I'm out of probably more than half of his rubs because of him dropping videos.
Right. Jesse, you're hinting to yourself, drop more videos for more of your rub. See, content matters.
Content is king. We just brought in the new rubs from Rambler. And oh my gosh, they've taken off. And then Chad Ward from Whiskey Bent, he just dropped a line of sauces. I can't keep, I've sold out of his drunken pineapple barbecue sauce 4 times now. I've sold probably, it's only been out 2 months. I probably went through 12 cases.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
But like you said, it comes in waves.
I don't think Chad's doing any videos either. It's just people, we sampled it one time, and I can't wait to get the Kinsey stuff in because I think that pickle sauce is going to go crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, man, I'm super, super excited to cook with your products. I might actually go get a rack of ribs.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with it, man. Seeing what you think of it. Seeing just noticing the difference in what it does and how it behaves under smoke and
Yeah.
fire, I think is where the magic really happens. So
Yeah, and then apparently I need to get some of this this crawfish boil from you next spring, huh?
yes. So here's the drawback about crawfish boil, right?
All right.
At least the recipe that I get and the recipe that I stand by, its shelf life is only 1 year, which means it starts losing its potency after about 6 months, right? So if I order at the end of crawfish season to resupply, and the season dies off, I'm just sitting on a giant amount of inventory that's not going to be anything I can stand by come the following season. So as of right now, where I'm at in my, I guess, scale, right, is I do it annually. I just do it annually. I do it every February is whenever I place the order. I get it in by the beginning of March. And then I'm usually, between me doing things for people and then selling it, I'm usually out. I ran out a couple weeks ago. So, and this year went by a lot quicker than it did last year. So I'm hoping maybe next year I'm productive enough to have 2 batches made. But I also have a game fish seasoning meant for outdoorsmen and fishermen coming out next month. That one I am dropping next month.
Well, just so you know, I'm going fishing in August, Yellowtail in Mexico. Just throwing that out there.
I'd love for you to take a bottle with you, buddy.
Right?
It's crazy the amount of people that come in that are looking for seasoning for fish.
Yes.
People would be really surprised about it. Almost daily, somebody's coming in. I need something for my salmon. That's the biggest request right now.
Well, I think it's because it's available at almost every retailer.
Yeah.
Salmon is. There's 2 fishes that I know I can go buy at the store right now. I can go buy salmon. I can buy tilapia.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? And I think right now it's a prime time for salmon because I see a lot of sales with it. I see Costco has sales on them right now. So I don't see too many people. I don't know, Jesse, you probably way more than I do. I don't know how many people are coming in looking for seasoning for trout. Being here in Utah, it's probably more common than probably I think. But
so it's mostly salmon. I've had a couple people in the last week looking for something from trout. So yeah.
So we down here in the coastal bend, Texas, we do red drum,
redfish,
Gulf speckled trout, flounder. Those are the big 3. And then right behind that would be catfish, tilapia, crappie. Those are, I guess, kind of the order. My favorite fish has a soft spot or has a special place in my heart. It probably is soft by now, backed up. Is redfish. Redfish on the half shell to me is the best protein cooked over open fire. Better than any beef. Better than anything. Redfish on the half shell. I love it. I love it.
And the worst thing about around here is you can't get good catfish. I love fried catfish. It's one of my favorite things. And people go, it tastes too fishy. I'm like, not if you're doing it right.
Not if you're doing it right.
Am I looking this up? It's called red drum as well.
Yes. Yeah. So the technical term is red drum, but redfish. Some people, when they look up redfish, they'll end up on Google will throw them a red snapper. That's not the same thing.
It's not the same.
Yeah, that's a huge fish. One fish could feed a family for a minute.
Yes.
Can get big.
Yeah.
Yep.
They can get pretty big. My chief at my job just caught a 47-inch one last week.
Wow.
Huge redfish. But the slot limits here in Texas are between 20 and 28 inches. You can keep 3 per person. So those are the perfect eaters right there. We can feed our family with that.
So how do you rock your redfish on open flame? Tell us how you
do it. So I leave it on the scales. Right. I season it up. I was doing it with my Armadillo BOLD, but now that I've got my I've got that old blue marina dust, now I'm using that. And season up with that, let the seasoning kind of set into the meat, let some of that water come out, let the seasoning start to kind of get that caking look, almost like you would with a rack of ribs. Redfish has enough intramuscular fat in it that where you can treat it almost like any other protein. So I'll actually grill it down.
Are you grilling a whole, or you cut it in half?
The entire fillet, it all depends on the size of the fillet. But I'll do an entire, if he's a 20-inch, then I'll do the entire thing. If he's 25, 28, then I'll cut it in half.
Gotcha.
But as big of a chunk as you can get away with on whatever cooker that you're doing, right? And I'll go meat side down at first just to get that sear across it, and then I flip it over onto the scales, and I just let it ride right there, and you'll see the fat of that fish start to bubble right along that skin line.
Yep.
Right.
When it starts to bubble.
When it starts to bubble, now you know that it's not only rendering the fat, but now that it's kind of separating and trying to lift a little bit from the skin. And when you go to serve it, all you got to do is just slide that right off.
Yep.
But it takes that fire. It's the way that redfish fat renders and the way it takes fire is something special.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to put into words. It's savory. It's not super fishy. It does have a little bit of a wild taste, but it's not overbearing or unappetizing at all. It is succulent like a scallop when you eat it. And to me, I had Thyron Matthews ask me, Cameron, you mean to tell me that if I gave you a Wagyu A5 ribeye, or you had that wild caught redfish, and I told you to wow me, you would choose that redfish? That's 100% every time. Every time.
Well, the thing of it is you know how to cook it.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I had a buddy from Vegas. He was up here doing some cancer treatments, and he's like, "Hey, would you mind making me some salmon?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll make you some salmon." And he's like, "What'd you do to this?" I go, what are you talking about? He goes, "It's not dry." I said, "Well, it's not supposed to be dry."
Right.
He goes, "I've eaten at some of the best restaurants in Vegas, and every salmon that he gets was dry." I'm like, They just don't know how to cook it.
No. They know how to appease a customer to make them not come and ask if it's done.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I want my salmon almost medium.
Yeah.
Medium rare.
Yep. I just want that on redfish. I want that where the middle of it would be translucent, like it just whitened up.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I want it to just then. And when you eat that, I'm telling you, it's succulent like a scallop. Whenever you eat it.
Do you kick any citrus on it?
So there is citrus in my rub.
Gotcha.
I don't like it. To me, a large amount of lemon on that fish does it a disservice.
Gotcha.
You worked really hard for this fire taste. You worked really hard for to get all the seasonings in that you wanted, and then you're just gonna make the first thing that touches your tongue lemon juice.
Yeah.
To me, it does it actually does it a disservice, right? Imagine if someone's cooking it in the oven, then it would actually do it well. But with the amount of work that I'm putting into it and how I want to taste that effort. So in my Old Blue Marina dust that's coming out, we actually got rid of the first original one had lemon citrus in it, and I just couldn't get away from it.
It's too much.
It was just too much. So we went back to the drawing board. We brought more umami forward, switched up some of the chilies that went in it, and then we switched over to orange citrus instead. And that orange citrus kept it, but it mellowed it out so beautifully.
And I like a little squeeze of lime on my redfish. Just a little bit of lime on the top of it, not to overpower it, but
if I'm sliding it off of there and I'm making tacos, like redfish tacos with it, yes. Because to me it brings together the slaw. If you put a slaw on your tacos, it brings that all together. So you don't have these two contrasting flavors. You have to have that lime in there. But lemon is just too much, but that lime does it well.
It just fights it too much.
It does. Yeah. It does. And even the lime, if you go crazy with it, it can have the same overpowering. But just a few drops.
A kiss. Just a kiss.
Just a kiss of it. That's it. So love it.
Sucks. Because that sounds amazing, and I don't even know where to get my hands on some of this redfish, because this sounds amazing.
You find yourself down in Houston, buddy, you just shoot me a message.
All right, we'll go catch them, and then that'd be awesome.
Road trip, baby, road trip. Let's go. Except with your hair, man, your hair is you're gonna have an afro down there. It's got so much humidity. He's south of Houston, man. I mean, that's like being in Picayune, Mississippi, middle of the summertime. It's 100 degrees and it's 100% humidity.
Dude, all these fish we're talking about, I can throw them on the sidewalk and they'll live for an hour, man. It is that humid.
I guess I just need to go. I need to go visit you in the spring so I can catch some fish, and we can do a boil
and get some crawfish.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, Cam, is there anything else you want to talk about, man? I see you have some T-shirts on your website. You do have a pre-order of the old Blue Marina fish dust.
Yep.
Or the dust
Yep.
fish
So just some endeavors that I've got going, man. So my wife and I, not too long ago, we launched BarHart branding. So we do swag, merch, and stuff like this, simple printing stuff and cutting boards, laser engraving, that kind of thing. I got some of those seasonings coming out. I have some ideas rolling around for the fall. Possibly a chili mix coming out. I haven't really circled back around to barbecue yet, guys. Just maybe something else that talks to the outdoor cooking crowd, though. That a good chili mix. We shout out to Qitup. Those guys started believing in me as soon as we met last year in November. Dennis and Baca and John Kennedy, those guys are phenomenal. I don't know if you guys know about the Qitup app. It's an app for backyard cooks. Share, talk, exchange pics, videos, recipes, things like that. It's phenomenal. I became their brand ambassador in January. So they have partnered with me on my Smoke a Station rib challenge that we did. We did a 1-day rib challenge back in March. We're going to do another one in October, benefiting local fire departments in rural areas. So places where they don't, an ambulance may not be right nearby. We're trying to equip them with all the equipment to help people until an ambulance arrives. Right.
That's
So I do this for a living, and I know that there's an expectation that when someone is experiencing the worst day of their life, they're going to call 911 and help is going to be there and be able to actually help them. And some of these hyper rural areas, they don't have that. So we're Qitup has partnered with me, and we are really pushing the Smoke a Station Rib Challenge. So it has smallbizflavor.com. They carry my Armadillo BOLD, and they're going to be carrying all my products as well. They were willing to sponsor and help out, no questions asked. Boom, right off the bat. Some local business guys here, not barbecue related, but great local entrepreneurs in the town that I'm at. They're super supportive of the endeavor. So we have another one that's coming up in October. It is unsanctioned. It is all for the charity. We had guys. It started out as just a couple of guys on TikTok kind of rubbing elbows with each other, and then all of a sudden it turned into. I was turning away people because I couldn't fit them on the grounds.
Oh man!
I was having to cap it. And
that's a horrible problem to have.
Yeah, exactly. So we only had 9 teams out there, and then because I had never done one before, never officiated one, never promoted one, never anything. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and we made a difference. And people came from all over, as far as Oklahoma. Like shout out to Greg Mitchell again. He came all the way down from Oklahoma to come and be a part of a 1-day challenge. There's no pot. There's no winnings, guys. It's going to this effort here. And he said, sign me up.
That's awesome.
So, I'm just happy to be partnered with so many great people. If you look on if you're on my website, Anthony, you'll see my partners in Q. And there's everyone that I'm partnered up with there that has supported me, and I support them. And, I would like to have a very, everyone on there and we have a rising tides approach to everything, Yep.
Abundance, not scarcity. Yep.
No, there's barbecue as a whole has been around for thousands of years all over the globe, and there's a demand for it that's going to be around for 1,000 more years. And just trying to do the craft some respect, and that's pretty much my only goal.
That's awesome. And I say that you're working with Jordan from Smoke and Pastors Project as well, too.
Yes. He gets. Yes, I love Jordan to death. He gets some of my every time that I get a new order in. He gets a percentage of seasonings from me to help him with what he's doing up there. Love Jordan to death. Rooster and Graybeard, they lifted me up from a long time ago.
All right.
I first heard of them on y'all's podcast here. I've been listening to you guys for a couple of years, and heard of them there, and then connected with them on TikTok. And the barbecue community on TikTok is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And I know that TikTok has changed their format and has done a whole bunch of stuff, but I can't break away from it. That's just it's my barbecue piece. I don't know how else to say it.
I still don't have it.
Still don't have it?
No.
I was very anti TikTok for a very long time. But when you find your way into the camaraderie, you just can't. There's nothing like it. So
yeah,
that is awesome.
but we'll have to get some of your rubs in the stores too. So when we get off here, we'll reconnect, and because I really want to try your fish rub. So
yeah,
absolutely, I'll be happy to send you up some samples, so we can get that done.
Heck yeah. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining this evening,
guys.
And then also,
thank y'all.
Yeah. And also, everybody who listens, make sure you go and download this episode, share it with all your friends.
Yeah.
And go to the website and go get your Just Cook Better shirt as well.
And if you're on Spotify and iTunes and everything else, guys, if you drop a review, it really helps us more than you think.
It really does.
So like and subscribe, and then drop a review on those things. It gives us an idea and gives our listeners an idea of how well the podcast is doing. So we appreciate that.
I found you guys myself on Spotify 2 years ago, and
that is awesome.
And I've been listening ever since. So appreciate y'all for having me on. Yeah, everyone who tuned in, thank you guys in the chat. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah. All righty, guys. We'll catch you guys next week.
Thanks, Cam.
Thanks, Cam.
Thank you.
Yep.
Stay bold, everybody.